Hello, hello, and welcome to the Signature Legacy Builders Experience. You are here with Yvonne Nobles. I am so excited to have you in the room today. I know some of you are busy taking care of other things. The fact that you have blessed and honored me with your time and your presence is beyond appreciated. This is going to be interactive, so if you're in a place that is safe, then by all means, I want you to go ahead and unmute briefly, tell us where you're joining from, and tell us what you do. We want to get to know everyone in the room. So just give it a couple of minutes for more to join us. And if anyone is brave and they want to say hello, just tell us where you're from and what you do. As an alternative, if you want to go ahead and drop that in the chat, that's perfectly fine too. While we do that, I just want to let everyone know I am a mindset coach and success strategist. I am all about making you feel good so that you can do the things you were put here to do. And for many of us, it's different. Some of us are phenomenal parents. Others are building businesses and legacies. Whatever that looks like for you, you need support. And I want to take the next 90 minutes to pour into you. So if anyone wants to just jump on really quick, say their name, where they're checking in from, and what they do, that is perfectly fine. And if you'd rather sit silent, that is okay too. Oh, we have someone jumping in. Go ahead.
Okay, hi. Yes, I'm not usually vocal. I'm pretty busy, as you know, but thank you for allowing me to just share a little bit. My name is Ivy Shivers. I'm joining from Tallahassee, Florida right now. I'm usually in Jefferson County, but what I
Awesome.
do is I try to help people to improve their lives by improving their health and wellness, focusing on those things that um, have such a large impact later in life. And with regard to health and wellness and nutrition, what we do with our lives now in terms of what we take in, how much we nourish our bodies, really does affect the quality of our lives later, now and
Beautiful.
later. So I
Beautiful.
want to contribute to the healthiness of, my family and friends, of course, and everyone, because we all need good health. So that's who I am.
That is tremendous. Thank you for sharing. For some who are just joining, again, we are having anyone in the room that feels comfortable enough, you go ahead and pop in, unmute, say who you are, where you're from, and what you do for the benefit of others that are here. Only if you're comfortable. If you'd rather drop that in the chat, that is an option as well. But from what I can see on the screen, I am so, so excited to welcome Ivy Shivers, Dr. Jen Edwards, and Will B into the room. So again, I am a mindset coach and success strategist. I am all about pouring into the people with whom I'm honored to cross paths so you can get to your next level. And it's not about taking a long time. This can happen very, very rapidly, but first you have to believe. And that is something we're going to talk a lot about today, how everything is centric to belief. Many of us are carrying things, loads and burdens that we're not even aware exist, things that are causing us to slow down, to be distracted, to take so much longer than necessary to break through to a new you. And today I want to share how it's possible to do this in record time and where it feels amazing. So without further ado, one thing I want to share with you is you've likely already noticed pretty quickly, this will not be your average webinar. I am totally against teaching fluff. I want to share actionable strategies so that you actually get results today. So in the next 90 minutes, we're going to dig deep into powerful ways that you can indeed shift into a new you. And I want you to be open to the idea of actually raising the bar on how you show up in life. So prepare to really lean in. I need you to be fully present. If possible, silence any distractions. I know that some of you are on the road. Some of you are doing other things as well. So again, a brief note of gratitude that you chose to be here to invest in yourself. And I want to make sure you don't miss a beat. Now, if for some reason you do have to exit early, that is okay, because the replay will be available for a few short days. But I want to remind you all, someone in this room, one live attendee, is going to be invited to appear as a guest on our fully loaded legacy podcast. So make sure you check your email tomorrow. That way you can see who's been announced as the winner. And if you're ready to dive in, and if you're safe, go ahead and type yes in the chat so we can go ahead and get rocking and rolling. So if it's okay, I'd love to share my backstory. Hey, Talicia, so glad you could join us. I want to give you a little bit of information about why we're here today. I spent well over 20 years in corporate America. I know, I look good. But with that came so much stress, so many hurdles, a lot of adventures. And I learned very quickly that it's vital to adapt. The faster that you can adjust, the faster you can grow, or as they say, blend and rise to the top, the better for you. However, the last 5 years of that, I was specifically in the cruise industry, which sounds good on the surface, but full disclosure, I didn't even know what a cruise was when I started. A dear friend advised me after a move from New York to Florida to try it out. So I was open to the challenge. I interviewed, was hired the same day. And within a few months, I became one of the top producers, again, in an industry I knew nothing about. And what I had to do for that first year is repeat what I heard others saying. But I have to tell you, when I went on my first cruise and saw it for myself, that experience changed everything. My husband initially was very resistant. I told him it was finally time to take our cruise, and he was like, I ain't getting on no boat. But before that trip ended, he was like, when are we doing this again? So, more on that later. What I want to share with you at the moment is when we fast forward to the pandemic, that's when, as many of you know, the industry halted. So I wanted to return to my heart's calling. I wanted to start doing more coaching, personal development. It's with a twist, and we'll get into that. But I am so happy to be able to pour into you. Now, here's something I know about you. If you're in this room, you were specially selected by me and my team. We know that you started dreaming of something big when you were young. And at that point, life looked like anything was possible. But then you grew up, you became an adult, and you noticed that making your dreams come true was a heck of a lot more difficult than you imagined. Having fun was replaced with endless responsibility and to-do lists. And the majority now of your day is spent caring for those that you love or doing what you deem necessary to be there for those that need you. The question, who's taking care of you? You're not quite sure how to break out of hustle mode. It's a good thing you're here today. You're not going to leave with a giant checklist. You're actually going to have an opportunity to do the work so you can leave with breakthroughs. And we're going to cover the importance of a few things. First, shifting into the most dynamic version of you and refusing to give up on your drive to make an impact. Plus, we're going to talk through how creating systems can help you grow lasting wealth. So the first thing that we're going to deal with is shifting into your most dynamic version. To get that kicked off, I'm going to ask you a question. Put it for me in the chat if you can. What does stepping into your next level look like for you? It's going to be a little different for everyone here in the room, but if you can share what stepping into your next level looks like for you, that would be amazing. And as you think about that and really fill into it, for some people, it means that you're accomplishing a dream that you once thought impossible. For others, it's a little more down to earth. Maybe you're making more money. You got a promotion. Maybe you're doing something that you heard and was whispered in the back of your mind and it becomes reality. We've got Dr. Jen Edwards saying it could be intentional conversations, building relationships, not hustling. Yes, we're all about no hustle mode and bye-bye burnout. Those are two very big things. Thank you for sharing that. Now, I want to share with you what I found as the dictionary definition of dynamic, full of energy. Who here today can honestly say they feel dynamic? Now, who would like to be, even if you are, to a bigger level? And it would be awesome if you can put in the chat benefits that you think would come from being dynamic, from being full of energy in a state of overflow and having the ability to quickly assess and then accomplish anything you want. We're going to talk about raising the bar. And that's a term you're going to hear me use a lot today. It stands for beliefs, actions, results. So again, raising the bar, beliefs, actions, and results. First, we have to share. Mindset is 90% of anything you set out to accomplish. It all starts here. And the number one habit that will completely rewrite your narrative, shifting from being reactive to proactive. There's a level of awareness where you have this ability to really check in with you. And it's so essential to being able to grow to your next level. So we're talking assessing any triggers, processing any emotions, and being very tuned in to when they show up, because they're sending you clear messages about any obstacles or roadblocks that might be keeping you stuck. The thing to remember is when it comes to our mind, there's so much that's operating beneath the surface. The best way I can describe this is with an event that almost killed me involving black ice. So I'm going back about 20, 25 years ago. I had a roommate that wanted to relocate from Florida to Maryland. And she had been in a very traumatizing car accident. So another friend and I, that's three of us, are now on the road in a giant U-Haul with all of her possessions, taking her up the coast in the dead of winter, and we're hauling her vehicle that's hitched to the back of the U-Haul. Anything that could go wrong went wrong. We're talking taking wrong turns, jackknifing, trying to get back on the highway. I will give a shout out to truck drivers everywhere and their level of courtesy that I didn't know existed. But the scariest part was when I'm behind the wheel, we're heading down a steep mountain and we hit black ice. Yeah. First of all, I didn't know what it was. So for anyone here who may not be acquainted with the term, it's the frozen layer of ice that you cannot see hidden beneath snow. So the scary part about that was, again, we have a massive ton of weight that we're carrying and we start sliding almost off the road. Fortunately, we live to tell the tale. We're all safe and still here. But the thing about it is the mind works the same way. Anytime that you begin something new, the reflex thought is, that's crazy. Stop. Danger. You can't do that. All these fears and blocks and these patterns have to be unlearned so you can position yourself to get to your next level. And no, it's not an overnight process, but it's literally among the most important work that you can do. So if ever you feel stuck with no way out, I need you to remember you have the power to choose new beliefs. It may seem very daunting at first, but you can do it. And help makes it go faster. So we're going to do a little exercise. If you're in a place where you can write safely, please, by all means, go ahead and take notes and really feel into this. If you're into journaling, it's something you might want to go through now and then. But in this exercise, you're going to weigh into what comes up for you when I say certain words. Just tune into how you're feeling, how your body reacts when I say these words. Stress, resistance, overwhelm, anxiety, doubt. Was there a little tightness in your neck, maybe in your chest, a little bit of tension? Very interesting, right? That words can place us in a place of reaction. Now, I want you to revisit this, and I want you to feel into what happens when I say these phrases. I've got this. I am unstoppable. Everything is working out in my favor. I am committed 100% to my success. I am capable of doing anything I put my mind to. Different, right? Do you feel a little more powerful? Now, what if you fully believed those words were true for you? You see, the self talk, the conversation that we have with ourselves, it will have the single largest most impact on any outcome that we undertake before we even start. Speaking of impact, that brings us to the second section. We want to make sure that we never give up on our drive to make a global impact. So if you're in a safe spot, go ahead and put for me in the chat, what is your purpose? What is the thing that you are most driven to do? The thing that you think you are called to accomplish, that you were put here for? What is your purpose? No right or wrong here, but we want to make sure that you're feeling into what you're supposed to be doing. Wonderful. So we have serve and equip women, energize us with the possibilities. That is phenomenal. And for those that might think, gee, I don't really know, that's okay. It's an ongoing process to get to the core of what you're really meant here to, and put here to do. Will be just shared inspire. That's phenomenal. Setting others on fire. Okay. Ivy's added helping others. See, we knew we got the right people in this room. It's all about paying it forward, giving back. And what I want to remind you all is every single success story, every household name that you can think of, they started right where you are, with a dream. This small, tiny, insignificant seed that they nurtured over and over. And eventually, with time, it grew into a mighty sequoia. Now, sometimes the most effective wake-up call is facing your mortality. I have a funny and a serious share on that note. So the funny one, I was a young teen. We were living overseas for the second time in Germany. And my friends begged me to join them at what's called a schwimmbad, like a swimming pool, kind of like rapids in South Florida. I knew better. I still don't know how to swim. But I was like, I'm going to, chicken out. I'm going. Unfortunately, I found myself around the structure, looked like a giant mushroom. No one told me that at 6 o'clock on the dot every day, this really strong current kicks in so you could ride the waves. Yeah. So I went under and I'm flailing all over the place, kicking, trying to live at this point, anything to survive. Fortunately, I grabbed hold of something. It was an older woman's bathing suit. I nearly ripped it off her. And the only thing I could say when she brought me up above the surface, Danke. It's the only word that I could think of in German, which was thank you. The woman didn't know she saved my life, but it changed things for me. I got out of that water immediately. That I had to be a little more cautious and not so concerned about what others were thinking. But it was that first trip to Germany where, in addition to meeting the love of my life, I actually met powerful, inspiring people in the form of Holocaust survivors. And as a young child, I became really, really obsessed with the idea of how can you go through something that terrible, that atrocious, simply because you're different, to be hated and still have a smile on your face, to not be so embittered that you hate those that did this to you, but instead you can live with forgiveness and move on. And those connections led to me creating systems to make sure that no matter what negativity came my way, you could still turn it into a positive. Who remembers what the A in BAR stands for? We had belief, actions, and results. You see, positive thinking alone is not enough. Consistent action is a must to breathe life into your goals, to turn your dreams into reality. So with that being said, we're going to do another exercise. This one is one that I referenced with Ivy before we started, it does require closing your eyes. So if you can't do it now, make time later today to complete it. But I need you all to close your eyes, take a couple deep cleansing breaths, and we're going to do a power visualization. What I want you to do is imagine you're standing in front of a giant door. It's made out of brass. It's so massive that when you first look at it, this looks like there's no way through. So another deep cleansing breath. This giant door is in front of you. But on the other side of that door is the thing that you treasure most. It's the dream that you're building. It's the legacy that you're creating. And whether that's you with your family traveling abroad, you in the home that you dreamed you knew you would build for yourself, you inspiring others in a fashion that they become brand new, you standing on a stage and delivering the best performance of your life, or being recognized for something that you've created like no one else. Whatever that dream is for you, I need you to see it in vivid color, not the shadow, not the outline. You're in the midst of living the life that you know is coming for you. Take another deep breath and pull together everything in your might and walk up to the door. Open that door and walk through and feel what happens when you step into what you've seen. When you embody becoming the person before the circumstance shows up. One more deep breath. And now put a yes in the chat if you feel closer to turning that into reality. If you feel that what once was just an idea or a possibility, maybe a daydream, you're more empowered to actually become. And realize that this is a tool that's at your disposal anytime you need it, because inevitably change is hard, but it's the only way to bridge the gap between where you are right now and where you want to be. Awesome. Our third part deals with systems. So keep in mind, when we were children, there were plenty of stories that were taught us to teach us lessons. Does anyone remember the fable of the tortoise and the hare? Always one of my favorites. The hare was initially in the lead, but it was the tortoise who won the race, right? Because he remained consistent. Well, what if you could have the best of both worlds, speed and consistency? And that's where systems come in, because when they're set up properly, essentially they do the heavy lifting for you. So you're free to shine in your zone of genius. Now, anyone who does any type of social media marketing who's present here today, you probably know that the latest trend is the use of artificial intelligence, right? One that's really trending is ChatGPT. And as a special bonus for any of you that schedule a follow-up call to today's session, I'm going to personally walk you through a live demo of how to get it to use your voice authentically. Because if you've played with it, you've probably seen that without a little bit of nurturing, the results can sound and feel like you're talking to a robot, a very intelligent robot, but nonetheless, when you want something to land, it has to sound like you. So I'm going to walk you through a process that was very eye-opening for me, where you can make it act like a writing analyzer, use a former piece of content that you shared, and get it to now become your authentic voice. In addition to 17 other remarkable AI options that are on the rise that can help you for anything from design to music to voice mimic, just so many tools that can help you with the heavy lifting. And then I want you to just pause for a moment and think about all the possibilities that open to you when you leverage systems that save you time, expand your reach, and reduce your immediate workload. See, the key is to identify any expansive opportunity that will make you feel lighter. And when it comes to embracing new technology, do it quickly, but do it responsibly. And if you can collaborate with others and grow your bottom line, it's a win-win. So we've dug a little bit into making shifts to become the most dynamic version of you. We've talked about the need to rekindle and never give up on your need to have a global impact. And we've also dabbled a little bit in systems and how they can expand your earning potential. Well, what I wanted to do was something a little special. I do have time for Q&A at the very end. So if questions are coming up for you, please jot those down because we will talk through them. But now we're going to focus on why travel is a vital form of self-care. This final topic is a bonus. It's all about the importance of self-care for entrepreneurs and experts alike, and how travel is such a vital form of that self-care, and it shouldn't be overlooked. Now, I want to pause and give a special shout out to Dr. Jen Edwards. That's how she appears on IG, Dr. Jenn Edwards. And Dr. Jennifer Edwards did share some really powerful points on self-care. What she mentioned was delegate what you don't like or what you do repeatedly, automate what you can, and prioritize the rest that you're getting, because we cannot serve others if we're depleted. And I especially love drink water as your body's fuel. So all super vital points. Take them to heart if you're not doing them already. And, many are familiar with the saying, it's impossible to pour from an empty cup. You probably heard it. An expanded piece of advice that I think is just as important is, ideally, you want to pour only from your overflow. So the question is, how is it possible to achieve a state of overflow? If you feel like you're in hustle mode most times, and you know that self-care is important, how do you get into that state of overflow? Get away from it all. Sometimes you have to just unplug, reset, renew, and relax. And this was a reality for me on the very first cruise that I took. I actually almost went into a panic attack because it was the first vacation where I had no device. I didn't know till I got there that there would be that limitation. Don't know what I was thinking, but no cell phone, no laptop, no work. And I came home a completely different person. In fact, I had the privilege of asking some of you that have sailed previously on a cruise what you enjoyed the most. And here's some of the responses I got. Ultimate relaxation, the best vacation ever, feeling at one with the ocean, couples and families spending more time together, really getting to get reacquainted, visiting different countries and cultures, the time off from work, and you didn't even think about any problems, whether there might have been relationship hurdles, paying the bills. All those were things that just didn't even cross your mind, because it was almost as if time froze and stood still while you were on board. So this is why I've incorporated 7-day luxury cruises into my coaching programs. I want to give thousands more the freedom that comes with experiencing restorative transformation that happens on a retreat at sea. So I know that some of you present have cruised. For some of you, it may be something that you've read about or seen on TV, but let me tell you, the food is bar none phenomenal, but it's okay. Up on the top deck, there tends to be a running track where you can go and work all those calories off. There's also state-of-the-art gym equipment. So for those that love to work out, imagine you're on a treadmill, but it's facing and overlooking the ocean. Um, Impeccable entertainment. And there are people who love meeting others and make lifelong friendships just with others that are cruising with them. The special treat that I reserved for all of you was, although she couldn't be here with us live today because she's on a cruise exploring the delights of St. Croix as we speak, our amazing travel partner, Heather Roembke, who's responsible for coordinating our journeys, graciously pre-recorded an interview. And I asked her some of the pressing questions that have been coming in about cruising and travel as it pertains to self-care. So what I'd like to do now, if it's okay with everyone here, is I'm just going to share a few of the clips. And this is going to give you a behind the scenes look into why cruising in particular is so vital to your self-care, to having a reset, and taking your business and your life to a new level. So let me go ahead and bring up the first one. And this one is actually going to be called Exploring the World Through Travel. Each clip is very short, a minute or less. But I still have to point out kudos to you for taking the lead. But I still have to point out kudos for taking the lead. Because a lot of us hear those whispers of maybe you should, but I still have to point out kudos to you for taking the lead. And thank you for just a moment because I'm trying to open it with a new app. So if someone can let me know if they actually can see the video clip in the chat. But I still have to point out kudos to you for taking the leap, because a lot of us will hear those whispers of maybe you should try this or just dip your toe in. And for whatever reason, we run. So I think it's great because if it weren't for you doing it, I would be. Okay, I've gotten a couple of no's. Hold on. We're going to open it with a different app instead. There we go. But I still have to point out kudos to you for taking the leap, because a lot of us will hear those whispers of maybe you should try this or just dip your toe in. And for whatever reason, we run. So I think it's great because if it weren't for you doing it, I would be stuck looking for a travel agent.
Hey, look, I have to a lot of great travel mentors too over the years, and one of them he used to say, because he passed away recently,
Oh,
in the
condolences.
thank you, he said, do it scared.
There you
So
go.
if any advice to anybody out there with whatever you're going through, whatever you're thinking of, do it scared. Rip off that Band-Aid and go for it, you know, and just
Absolutely.
do it. If you're passionate and your heart is there, it will come.
Yeah.
It will come.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it lands and falls in your lap. For some people it may, and yeah, bravo to that. I mean,
but that's few and far between.
But it is very few, you know.
Were you guys able to see that?
Yes.
Thank goodness. Yeah. Okay. Between the cough attack and the lack of tech, thank you all. Okay, so that one was really about her experience of why travel was so vital. And you know, it's something that's important to keep in mind. As a child, I was one that traveled through books. I was 2 years old. My dad enlisted in the military. So every year to 2 years, we were somewhere new. But what was wonderful for me was having an opportunity to see travel as an adult, to do it by choice, not necessarily out of necessity. And it's a beautiful thing when you can connect and create new memories and have new adventures, all through the gift of travel. The next clip, which I hope cooperates, this one is why travel is so important for people. So I'm going to try to get that one open for you all. And we have 4 of them total. So on that note, yeah, sure.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, Leon, welcome to the show.
Welcome.
I'm in the process of sharing a clip that a moment ago was not cooperative, but we're going to do our second one here. Again, why is travel so important? Curious, what role do you think travel plays in reaching new levels? Why is travel
Yeah,
so
that's
important?
yeah, for everyone, Yvonne, it's different for every single person.
Mhm.
From what I see with my guests who travel, some it's just a matter of getting away. Whatever getting away may mean, getting away from their job,
Yeah,
getting away. This sounds so bad, but getting away from family sometimes, you know, they just need a break. Sometimes it's traveling solo. Sometimes it's meeting new people when they travel. I have a
love
lot who
that.
just want to go to experience. And I would say that's what it comes down to is the experience
Absolutely.
of travel. And the experience of travel means something different to every single person. Some find they only need to do it one time a year.
Mhm.
I have some people who need to do it once a month.
Yeah.
Um, so it's just a matter.
So again, that one just dealt with the element of travel. And some of you might be able to relate if you want to share in the chat what travel means for you. If money were not an issue, how often would you do it? Would you be waiting just once a year, twice a year? Or is it something that you definitely would love an opportunity to enjoy even more? Because doing it again enhances your life experience, gives you an opportunity to disconnect, to get away, and to relate and connect with people that you love and maybe new friends. This third one, I see it there. Ivy says twice a year. And she's a very, very busy individual. So for her, I know that's huge. So the next one that we have is why go on a cruise? Let me see if I can find that one.
Hey, look, I know, I've literally taken certain cruises
Yeah,
and they have come back and said that changed my life.
absolutely.
And especially being around other people when you're talking about why a cruise, why come and do that, because connecting with people
Yeah,
who want to be next level and go next level and do next level, it's amazing. Yeah, you can Zoom, you can talk on the phone, you can meet one on one, but when you're away
different.
from the hustle and bustle, or call it what you want, your daily, you know, and you're there, it's just it's a whole nother level. I mean,
Yeah,
it
it's
really,
literally
really
the
is.
definition of immersive. Like you
Yeah,
literally get taken away from
yeah.
whatever. Sometimes, what do they say? When you're in the bottle, you can't see the label. So when you're
Mm-hmm.
going through your day to day, especially as a woman, it feels
Mm-hmm.
like there's so many boxes to check. So I know we have quite a few who can relate to that here with the busy schedule and everything that builds up on your plate in the course of a day, embracing an opportunity to step away, to breathe for 7 days in a row. It's just like no other. So I am curious, given that we covered a lot of information here today, do you feel that this is something that would serve you well, that this information helped you to get a better grasp on what it means to actually not just want to be more, but to shift into a more dynamic version of you? If any of this lands for you, just drop a yes in the chat. We went through the element of rewiring our beliefs, making sure that we take action so we can actually benefit and get the results. But it all starts with mindset. And then we also dove a little into making sure that we have a this impact on the world. And it starts at home. You know, those that are closest, nearest, dearest to you, they're watching you. Your legacy is not something you want to leave for when you're gone. It's something that you want to start building while you're here. And you want to be able to celebrate those successes guilt-free. We also dove into systems, and whether it's with the use of artificial intelligence, collaboration, but making sure that you establish a system that can help you do the heavy lifting. Because when you're a team of one, it can be overwhelming. And finally, we dove a little bit into travel as it pertains to self-care and why it's so important to make sure that you're taking care of you so you can continue to take care of all those that depend on you. So for this time, I wanted to say thank you so much. I invite you to put into action anything that you felt was, you know, useful to you, anything that you can use and paying it forward to help those that are important to you. And I wish you so much success in implementing big adjustments. And for those of you who'd like my help implementing what you've learned, I want to invite you to either raise your hand or type a yes in the chat so my team can reach out to schedule a VIP call. And the intent of that is to explore options so we can really collapse time in reaching your next level together. As you're thinking through that, I just want to share a little bit behind the scenes of what the program or the process would look like. So essentially, it would be 4 pillars. I call it the legacy ladder. So if you can visualize, you're starting at the base and you're working your way up. Because again, I'm all about collapsing time. The first rung or step is the wound. And this is where we really dig deep into healing. Because many don't know that much of what shapes or forms us was already there by the age of 7. All those experiences you had from birth to 7 did a lot in laying the groundwork and just forming a framework of who you are. And sometimes we're carrying around things that we're not even aware have such a big influence on the choices that we're making day in, day out. So the first rung is the wound. Then we step up to warrior. This is where we fight to get what's rightfully ours. And the thing is, the fight is already won, but it's a matter of setting boundaries so that we can stay focused, both for ourselves and for those that might try to impose on blocking what's coming for you. Next is wonder. This is where we play. So it's all about reconstructing how you look at business, how you look at life, and tackle any problems that show up. And so now you might have a better, clear understanding of why the cruise is so vital in this. And last is wealth. We actually talk about lifestyle design because, again, it's not about what you leave when you're gone, but what you can grow now and benefit from today. So that success journey, while taking some time, it can span anywhere from 2 months to 6 months, and there are scholarships available for those who qualify. So if you have interest or you know of someone that would benefit, again, I strongly encourage you to either type a yes in the chat, or you can go ahead and send me an email. My team will reach out at support@newuwow.com, the same box that was sending you reminders about the event today. So in closing, I'm going to share a very brief but important message that was also a part of my chat with Heather. Looks like I got a little bit better towards the end here at sharing these, so hopefully I can find the right one. But it's something that is so vital if you're looking to accomplish something huge. Yeah, one thing I really emphasize too, if you're not scared, it's not big enough. I want you scared. I want
Yeah.
you to go for those things that seem impossible, because
Yeah.
when you get there, those are the ones that leave you on top of the world. So
That's right.
yeah, live big,
That's
dream
right.
big,
That's
live
right.
big. I love it.
Dream it and live it. Yeah. And you can make it happen. It's in your control.
So super short, but very, very important. I'm actually going to play that one again because I realized with tech, it started a little slow. So here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, one thing I really emphasize too, if you're not scared, it's not big enough. I
Yeah.
want you scared. I want
Yeah.
you to go for those things that seem impossible, because
Yeah.
when you get there, those are the ones that leave you on top of the world. So
That's right.
yeah, live big,
That's
dream
right.
big,
That's
live
right.
big. I love it.
Dream it and live it. Yeah. And you can make it happen. It's in your control.
Awesome. So again, if anyone had questions, I'm gonna stop recording so we can do that. But in closing, I just want to thank you all for the time that you took today, that you took out of your busy schedules to come into the room. It was such an honor to share this space and time with you. And I look forward to having you as part of the Live Your Legacy community.